Today's conversation is for anyone who believes ERP should be more than a transaction system. It should be a decision engine. I'm really excited to welcome Martin Rusnak to the ERP Perspective. Martin is an interim and fractional CTO with over 2 decades of experience helping SaaS, private equity-backed and international organizations stabilize, scale, and transform their technology landscapes. What makes Martin's perspective so valuable that he's not talking theory. He's led ERP migrations, modernized data platforms, rebuilt BI teams, implemented AI-first strategies, and helped leadership teams turn systems like Microsoft Business Central into foundations for real insights and better decision making. Martin challenges a common assumption in ERP that migration is just a technology upgrade. In his view, ERP should be the core platform that connects data, analytics, AI, and organizational alignments, not just a place to record transactions. Today, we're diving into his CTO Playbook for AI-first ERP, how to turn Business Central into a data decision platform, how modern data architecture and BI enable AI, how leaders can fund transformation by rethinking IT cost structure, and what it really takes to build an AI-ready IT organization. If you're a CIO, CTO, ERP leader, or executive trying to connect ERP, data, AI into something that actually drives business outcomes, this conversation is for you. Martin, welcome to the ERP Perspective. Great to have you with us. Martin Rusnak, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you.
Good. It's great to have you on the ERP Perspective. I know we've known each other now for about 5 or 6 years. For everyone watching, would you like to give an introduction to who Martin Rusnak is?
Yeah, Martin Rusnak. I'm a fractional CTO and tech advisor, working mostly for German companies, after the service companies. I'm contractor since 6+ years, and yeah, I'm 27 years in business, and I'm originally from Slovakia.
I know we've worked on projects in Germany previously, and since launching the ERP Perspective, I know you've recently worked on some ERP projects with Microsoft Dynamics, and we were talking around discussions of how to introduce you to the ERP Perspective, but there was a really interesting insight about sort of an AI first ERP, but from a CTO perspective, and sort of a CTO's playbook and their part to play in an ERP project. Do you think that topic was relevant for you and on the value that you could give to the audience?
Yeah, I think you have to combine in the ERP migrations also AI. AI is very, very, very crucial now, and why from the CTO perspective, because if you are doing such a migration project, it is not IT project. It is definitely a company project, and you can really, if you do it right, you can really improve a lot in the company. For that, it's definitely interesting to discuss.
I know more recently you've worked on a Microsoft Dynamics Business Central project, if I'm correct.
Correct. Yeah, this was a quite strategic program. It's not only project; it's program doing migration from, let's say, old ERP system and to Microsoft Business Central. And the first stage, I have to say, because this once you do a ERP migration in the right way, then you can improve by ERP migrations also a lot in the whole company and also in different departments. But we focus now first in the finance to improve the invoice management, to automate incoming invoices and automatic reconciliation. We use also document capture as a solution for this, and this was a really interesting journey, because it is not kind of you integrate, install a system, and then everything is fine, but you have to really analyze a lot upfront and make a right strategy.
How successful was the outcome of that Dynamics project?
It was very successful. It is actually implemented, and it's going to go live soon. And for that, I think it's super important to analyze first the internal processes, document them properly. The best how we done it, we've done it different workshops. We use also event storming approach to really understand end-to-end processes, and also what kind of processes maybe doesn't make sense anymore because they were like long time there, and then suddenly maybe you see that you don't need it. And after that, we really set the first process which we want to improve and implement.
I mean, it sounds like that project was a massive success. I know obviously every ERP project is going to have sort of a few challenges. And I know you mentioned obviously, well, some people get mistaken ERP projects and IT projects and it's technical, but with many companies sort of still treating ERP migrations as a technical upgrade. From your CTO perspective, why should Microsoft Business Central be seen as the foundation of a AI first transformation rather than a standalone IT project?
Yeah, uh, definitely, definitely, it is not only upgrade, because you really need to first analyze what kind of data you have, how can you use this data. For that, I think it's super important to analyze first processes, but also analyze the where are my data, and also use a completely different way the data after your migration to ERP. And then also, once you have this data ready and your foundation is done, then you can also put AI on it, and you have suddenly completely different options to run your business, like redaction, like how is my real time, what is my real time information, my finances, and then apply the best possible setup for your company, because every company is different.
Yeah, 100%. And it sounds like obviously you've helped this organization use Business Central to harmonize processes, as you mentioned, their system landscape. What does it take to evolve an ERP from a sort of a recording system into a real-time sort of driver of insights, decisions, and sort of operational alignment?
Yeah, it's definitely transformational project and program. It is you have to really also explain the benefits to people. You have to really discuss with different departments what are the benefits. They are also in the driver's seat. That they see this is their implementation, not like Martin is then out and then suddenly they go to the, let's say, old way of doing stuff. For that, it's definitely important to get a buy-in from the C-level, buy-in from the private equity companies, but also buying from decision maker in different departments. And for that, it's really a change management process rather than IT project. And once they see benefits, and then you start to have a first quick wins, they see, okay, now suddenly I can do this, which I was not able to do it before, or lot of, let's say, back office, lot of administration work where I needed, let's say, like spend time. I can have it right away in some dashboard, and then my people can do more impactful work than doing some administration work.
I mean, it sounds like the first 60, 90 days are so important for an interim CTO to come in and show the board the impact, but also, as you mentioned, the quick wins, because if they can't see it, it's say, well, how is this new, 200 million or this massive ERP system, how is it benefiting our business? I'm sure it's very important for you to be able to communicate that to the board and show them the advantages of this new system.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, supervisory board with the investor, it's super crucial. Once a month, you give the update, but also you answer some questions in between, not to wait for the supervisory board once a month, because definitely you need a buy-in. There are also investors. They want to see ROI behind this program, but it's also crucial to in the management board to have all stakeholders really aligned on the regular basis, also getting their feedback on also maybe fears and react on this and not like ignore this, because then suddenly you don't have support. They stop to support and they stop to have some different discussions which you are not involved and you cannot answer it. It's super bad. And what we also done, we done also kind of like regular updates to the whole, like all hands, where we also gave the update about what is happening and showing also some cases, because it's a step-by-step project, and we want to show also not only benefits but also some real use cases, and not like big bang approach. Then suddenly you have a ERP system. For that work, like step-by-step approach, and also having something tangible on on each and every stage. And I think this is super crucial to have continuous support for such program, because such program takes longer, more months, and definitely more than 6 months, and you need this support the whole time.
So, I mean, that, as you mentioned, it's really important to have those stages. So milestones, celebrate quick wins,
Correct.
communicate to everyone. Because if someone's left behind, or they feel that they're not being informed, or why am I doing this task, it's very easy for that team to break down. Or, we're working with the most complex thing in the planet, people.
Yes, people were, yes.
It's easy to work with a machine or predict a machine, but when you're working with people,
Yeah.
that's the most complex system there is, in my opinion.
Definitely. But this makes also quite this interesting. Yes, definitely.
I know you mentioned there sort of the buy-in from the internal managers and the internal teams. I mean, you've restructured BI teams, you've built sort of modern data architectures, implemented Microsoft Fabric. What
Yes.
must organizations put in place around ERP to enable AI, but also make the most of the sort of predictive and analytics and sort of intelligent automation as well?
Yeah. One topic for the setup of the data warehouse BI team, and I will also explain how does it connect with the ERP migration, is to show them first the vision, why we are doing it, what kind of steps are we doing, like data preparation first, then automation, like Power Automate. This was mostly the Microsoft setup, like Microsoft Stack, also with Microsoft Azure and on-premise a data center. For that, once you have this vision and they see, okay, we are doing this because of that and that, then you have suddenly completely different energy in the team. And then also they are coming with new ideas. And this is also, they see, okay, there is also kind of skill update for us, because also Microsoft Fabric is quite a good framework for the data warehouse and BI. We combine Microsoft Dynamics as Business Central with business intelligence. And once you have also strong data engineer team, then you suddenly have completely different insights through your whole organization. For that, Microsoft Fabric, I think, was a good decision to go this way, and I think it's also go to framework for the current let's say data warehouse BI projects in the Microsoft setup.
I mean, I know you frequently also conduct sort of full IT cost analysis. You mentioned obviously finance earlier on. This is done to sort of separate the run, grow, and sort of transform. How can a clear cost breakdown help unlock funding and momentum for ERP, BI, and also the AI initiatives?
Yeah. Run, grow, transform. It is very well-known methodology also to analyze the IT costs, and this is very like a solution for not only for CFOs but also for the private equity companies, because then they understand, they can compare also kind of maybe different similar setups in their B2B portfolios companies. For that, it's kind of they always ask me as a fractional CTO, interim CTO, an advisor to run such analysis. Running costs you have, it is licenses, let's say your own data center, your cloud data center, but also like kind of maintenance work and also like human capital which you have in this area. And run and grow. Grow means, okay, ERP, it would be a growth initiative, grow the company in the right way. And then once you combine AI, ERP, you then transform the company and you have suddenly completely different options to navigate your company. And you guess also that the private equity really love this, because then they suddenly have a clear dashboard, they can understand what is behind this kind of IT black box. This is always a topic to explain, and for that really to combine this with ERP is really to show also why we need to invest there, but also by right implementation of ERP and AI, we also can reduce the costs, because it is maybe something which we were like maintaining the old system. You don't need this cost anymore, and then you You can also using cloud, you can optimize running costs only for something which you are using, and not let you buy something and then suddenly you have to continue to use it. For that, there are definitely options to improve also the run costs. But yeah, first you have to have a good strategy and also going to this growth initiative.
It sounds like that methodology has probably secured businesses previously that you work with budget and
Correct. Yes.
transparency to people on the board maybe, or private equity, and
Yes.
say, look, it's a structured plan. These are the wins. The methodology sounds like a bit like a communication tool in a way.
Correct. It
It's-
is.
Yeah, to get people to listen, but transparency in what's going on.
Yeah, in my experiences with the private equity board, normally they don't want to have these, details of what is, let's say, this done in the IT in details. They want to always see ROI.
Mhm.
For that, they want to say, okay, if I invest this, what I'm getting for it, and this is something which, as a CTO, and also as what I also had to learn myself, like how to communicate to supervisory board and to private equity. It has to be you don't need to. You should not explain, let's say, all the initiatives in details like a technology perspective, but more like a business perspective. And then this run, grow, and transform is definitely something to. It's a good layer, good translation between more business finance based people compared to technology based people. And I think it's a good point what you say. It's more like it's a translation layer for sure.
And I know as a whole on the businesses that you've worked with previously, we know technology alone isn't enough. You
Yes, yeah.
designed the IT structures, recruited strategic roles. I know I've helped you with that
Exactly.
as well,
Yes.
to ensure long-term stability. What does a modern AI-ready IT organization look like, and what roles matter most in your opinion?
Yeah. You have to have a definitely very strong data engineer team with a strong leader who she is good translator between data and business. For that, it's super crucial to have also leader and people behind in the data BI team to understand both sides, to not understand only technology, but be also translator for business, and always explain something from the business perspective and not from the technology perspective. Because once you choose a right technology frameworks like Microsoft Fabric and also kind of best practices in this area, then you set a good foundation, and it's more communication, it's more working with business people from different areas and going really deep inside of their perspective, what they really need, and also even coming with some new ideas. For that, definitely very strong data engineer, AI engineers. AI is as a key people. They have to be trained in AI and has to be also up to date with the AI. And then if you are doing transformation like that, you should have program management office, at least a strong program manager to support overseeing the whole program, like ERP migration, what we've discussed before. And then having good people which understand DevOps, understand infrastructure, how does it work, and then that they can communicate also to the maybe infrastructure team, the infrastructure and security team. To not forget security in all this AI and also ERP is super crucial. Not only security, but also data protection. Let's say in Europe, definitely key. Also in Germany, it's even a little bit over-regulated, I would say. But you have to find the best pragmatic approach here. And then really have a good regular updates with CEOs, CFOs, and also with other, let's say, VPs from different areas to explain what is happening in different initiatives. And then really also giving update in all hands to show support from people.
Yeah, I mean, you've sort of given such a perfect layout there of the ideal team if everything did work smoothly.
I see myself as a kind of to orchestrate the whole IT, but also being a business translator to C-level, CFO level, because they also think in their let's say own world, and then you have to work. I work very close with C-level, and then also explain the initiatives, translate what is happening on the very short, only few sentences, and then I think it's super crucial to be always in touch with the supervisory board, investors, and also see their perspective, what they are thinking, where they want to go as a company also in 12 months, 24 months, and then also to prepare the technology in the way that it will fulfill the expectation. A lot of also CTOs maybe see this little bit too much on the too technical, and having maybe the best possible best possible infrastructure setup, best possible software stack. It is crucial. It has to be very good, but it's super important to fulfill first the needs of the company, and that we are here to enable the company to grow.
100%. I mean, I think for any ERP project or the projects that you've worked on, it's that balance of having an expert's level of knowledge, but also be confident and a good communicator to different people in the project. And yeah, I think that communication skill and that translation, as you mentioned, because not everybody's going to have the same technical understanding as you or your experiences. So you need to be an expert on a technical level, but also an expert translator in a way, bilingual in technology
exactly,
and also people.
Yeah, this is definitely crucial for the leader, for the CTO. I think it's super important also to see different cultures, seeing also different setups, and also to find very fast also patterns who maybe this doesn't feel right, and then react on that. And it's not always analytical; it's also gut feeling, and you have to combine these two. Experience and analytical, but also gut feeling. And I think empathy is super important. Giving also feedback also to C-level, CEO, CFO, and even private equity partners in one-on-one, which is not always easy, to be very honest. But a lot of changes which are happening, and also, let's say, a culture of the company and mindset in the company. It is definitely coming from the leaders, no? For that, we are all human. We are all doing mistakes. For that, I think this is not so easy, but I think it's super important also for me as a consultant in some areas to explain why something could be changed or should be changed, but giving this feedback really in one-on-ones. And you can do this only once you have a good, trustful relationship with the decision makers, and going really with empathy, but also in right timing when to give the feedback about something which maybe, there are some blind spots even for CEO and CFOs and COOs. And I think it's crucial to be very honest here, but to give this message in right time and in the right way.
100%. I mean, you've gone into obviously a big part of that people and the communication aspect. I know from your experience, you've sort of stabilized core processes, delivered obviously ERP migrations on your latest project, modernized the BI teams, and driven sort of cross-company tech transformations. I mean, what's one story that you could go into where aligning ERP, data, and AI created a breakthrough moment for an organization?
What I've seen that if you combine all these topics like ERP, AI, and the processes, maybe two topics. One was like, once you analyze all these processes, suddenly you find, okay, actually, we don't need those two processes at all. And then suddenly like, wow, this is money spent, which doesn't need any more. For that, we found out that we don't need those two processes all. For that, it was like quick win, but also we save money. And the second topic was like how to react. We were able to react on the fraud protection instantly and in real time. And before, we didn't have this data and these insights. For that, this was also something to look at. This always, it's a risk management, and also you can reduce the possible fraud in those such companies. And if you don't see the data, you cannot react. For that,
I mean, it's not to be pessimistic maybe for certain people on when we find these functions or these processes that a business doing and they're wasting so much money. Do you think that's potentially where some large organizations have those like layoff periods, or they do these processes and they think, oh, we don't need this function of the business anymore? And the only logical decision is to obviously part ways with that part of the business because it makes no sense. Which yeah, it is the decision a business needs to make. But do you think that's potentially why certain teams get laid off, or businesses go, we don't need that function for our business?
I mean, it's happening a lot also in big companies like Amazon. This is a good example. Think, yeah, people also invest in AI in order to, let's say, run the business more effective, efficient. And definitely you can see this also as a threat in some areas. But I would say sooner or later, if people which are not using AI and not using alone AI and like they are not open for new technologies, and second, they are not bringing them up to date, sooner or later it would happen anyway. That it's sometimes sad to see it. Definitely, a lot of companies using AI, they don't reduce the, let's say, people. They use the people in the different way. As I mentioned also before, this is, I would say, rather see it that way, that the people can do more interesting work. And people maybe, people which, let's say, doing some administration work, and if this is like optimized through AI, yes, then those people will go. And I would say but new roles and new possibilities will also come through AI. They will come somehow balanced, but I think there is definitely also fear about this. We see also some news about it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, with change, there's always fear. I mean, as someone who, different business change, there's always fear. What does this mean? What does this mean for me?
Yes.
And
Correct.
there's always going to be fear in change. But from all the leaders that I've interviewed and everyone that I've spoken to in the AI space, I think as long as you're open-minded, you're happy to learn a new skill and sort of immerse the change, then I don't think there's anything to be fearful of. Everybody wants to work with people that are eager, positive, and open to learning a new skill. And but as you mentioned, if people are open-minded, they're happy to utilize the AI functions in their work, then I don't think there would be much to fear of. But you've gone into so many good details today for an AI first ERP and sort of a CTO playbook and how this can benefit an ERP project, but also Microsoft Business Central. It's brought me to my final question. If you could design the ideal blueprint for an AI first enterprise, bringing ERP, data, BI, organization, and strategy together, what would that model look like, and how should organizations begin that journey today?
Yeah, I would say the first is to have the AI first in all areas, meaning in recruitment, in trainings. For that, I would say you should definitely start with the trainings on the very regular basis. All decision maker should have proper AI training, and also keep this up to date. Then strong data. If you can do it on the green field, then yes, you should use the latest technologies. I would definitely go with the cloud in this area to set up a good foundation for the data. First, you have to have a good data. Then you have to automation. You have to do a lot of automation, and then you put generative AI on top of that. And you should definitely start to use AI agents a lot. Analyze your processes, and then give these learn these processes to be created, and let's say work on using AI agents. For that, I would say how it's going to be in the future. We will have colleagues, but we have also digital colleagues a lot, and also we will have a lot in the team. You will have suddenly, as a manager, you have to manage like human, but you have to also manage a lot digital twins, digital agents. And then I think this will be normal to manage like digital and human, and in the best possible way. For that foundation, a really good foundation, first of all, having strong leaders which are really up to date and kept up to date, having a strong support in C-level, Also, C-level has to be trained to AI, what options are there. And then, using the, let's say, best practices on the cloud and ERP migration or ERP systems. And if it is not possible, then going through the such migrations, ERP migration, which we discussed before, and not keep forever old system, because sooner or later you will be left behind. If you don't start to use AI, then you start to have really troubles, I would say, next 2 or 3 years. For that, it is really also, it is crucial for the business to take AI first strategy very serious, and you need to also do your basics first. Like when you are building house, you also start with the foundation. You don't start on the roof. And I think there are a lot of initiatives where they are starting on the roof because it's fancy. Everybody asking for it. Investors are asking for it. But you have to do your foundation first, and step by step. It's step by step, and then taking also some good strategical consultants. Consultants to speed up the process, to not do try and error if somebody can help you with this transformation.
The one thing you mentioned, the building from the roof on a start, maybe we see so many AI startups that get hundreds of millions of dollars or pounds, euros invested. I think there was one, I can't remember the name, but they had an AI chatbot, but it was a lot of people, not even AI. It was people, I'm thinking maybe India, where they had this data center, but it was just people replying.
I know, yes.
And
it's a lot of happening. It's a lot of happening like that.
Where millions are invested. And you mentioned the digital twins, which I found really interesting. I mean, if you're working and half of your colleagues are an AI agents or AI twins, I mean, it's a weird concept to, you can't go for lunch with them, or you can't socialize with them.
I know.
When do you think that's going to come into play?
Yeah, I mean, you have to then speak their language. For that they speak more. They're also happening now in the agentic framework. For that, you have to prepare. You have to make their life easier, like digital life easier, in order to have the right data. You have right interfaces, and also have a ready to consume data for AI. And I think this is so important for this to have this foundation. For that, if you don't have, let's say, before you had kind of APIs, now, which is still continuing to have it, but you have to have also ready to consume interfaces for AI, and then you speed up the whole process.
Educate the AI colleague.
Correct. Yes.
That's it's an interesting. I was thinking as well. I don't know how a disciplinary meeting would go with a manager and an AI agent.
Yeah, I'm happy. I think I'm happy that people. I think people wants to still work with people.
Yeah.
But you have to take the reality, and then in order to, if you can improve your efficiency, effectivity of the company by 300% or 500%. I mean, it would be really bad for investors and for you as a company to not do it, because if you don't do it now, in 3 years, you are kind of forced to do it. For that, discussions about ERP migration, I think is good, and it will help also companies to, take this serious, and if they are not already migrated, start these migrations very soon.
Thank you so much for coming on the ERP perspective and giving your insight as a interim and fractional CTO. And it was a great discussion, obviously AI first and ERP and the CTO Playbook. Is there anything else, Martin, that you'd like to give the audience to round up this?
Important. Take the AI really serious. Train with the latest models. Work with people. It's all about change management and transformation. And don't be afraid about this. And take it as an opportunity and not as a threat. And I think it's going to be fine. But you have to be up to date with this. Definitely.
Great message to the audience. And anybody who's watching this episode, I'd highly recommend Martin Rusnak as an interim CTO or fractional CTO. Feel free, I'll link his profile below and his content below this video. And so you can feel free to contact him directly for any projects or any insights or any advice that maybe you'd like following this episode. But this has been the ERP Perspective. And thanks so Martin for coming on the show.
Thank you, George.